Thank you for inviting me to deliver the quest lecture on the topic uh, Vedic Shamatva. So Vedic Shamatva is one of the uh, important topic which deals with the uh, there are not many challenges which we do come across when it comes to the uh, understanding of this particular concept from the Ayurvedic point of view. But still, there are times where we find it very difficult to understand in terms of the Ayurvedic concept. So we most of the time we do follow the concepts which has been mentioned in modern medicines, and we describe only one or two slides of Ayurveda, and then we will switch on to the concept that has been mentioned there. I think it's visible now. Okay, slides are visible now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today I am going to discuss about the concept of Vedic Shamatva and its important aspects, what needs to be understood from the point of view of the Ayurveda with that of the modern medicine. Most of the time which we come across when it comes to understanding of this particular the Vedic Shamatva, we do discuss lot many things, but only start with Vedic Shamatvam Nama Vadi Balaviriditvam Vadutpadak Pratikandapatinte Yavat, then we will stop that one. So, but at the end of the day, then after that we will start describing the modern medicines what has been mentioned. But that is going to create some sorts of doubt in the minds of our Ayurvedic scholars that no much detailed description is described in Ayurvedic classical text. So I will try my level best to define and discuss the concept of Vedic Shamatva, what has been discussed in Ayurveda at length, checking the what are the researches which are going on in the present scenario. So before going into the definition of Vedic Shamatva, I will start with some of the definitions what has been mentioned in the Ayurveda. So that I will start with that. So you know that when it comes to understanding of the Vedic Shamatva, you need to understand the concept of Bala, you need to understand the concept of Ojas, you need to understand the concept of Sara, you need to understand the concept of Pravara Sattva, you need to understand the normal function, normal samagni. So these are all the certain dhatu samyata, dosa samyata, then the mala samyata. Along with that, there will be an proper dynamic coordination between the dosha dhatu, mala, along with that of the manas, atma, and indriya. That's why samadosha, that particular definition of Sushruta goes there. Samadhatu malakriyaha prasanna atma indriya manaha. This particular the dynamic coordination between all these factors will leads to the complete Vedic Shamatva to the in the normal individual. If any of the factors which become get deranged, either so samagni is get agni is deranged, whether samadosha samagni dosha dhatus are deranged, if the doshas are deranged, the mala is deranged, and if the dosha, dhatu, and mala are in homeostasis, but they didn't have a proper coordination with that of the atma, indriya, and mana, so that will also create some sort of abnormalities in the normal physiological functions of the body. So can I switch on to the Hindi also in between, because I am continuously speaking in English? So can you tell me whether I have to go with English or can I speak in between Hindi also?
Sure, sir, sure.
हिंदी भी बात बीच बीच में हिंदी भी बोल दो ना?
जी जी बिल्कुल सर.
ओके. तो जब भी आप वैदिक क्षमता को समझने के लिए जो पहले कंपोनेंट है वो जिसको भी समझना जरूरी है, तो उसके लिए मैंने शास्त्र में जो बताया गया, एवरीबडी नोज दैट ओजस इज द essence of the all dhatus, and under this Bala is the factor which is there. Bala is dependent on the normal status of ojas. If ojas is either become kshaya, that's called as ojas. There are three morbidities of ojo doshas has been mentioned: ojo visramsha, ojo apat, and ojo kshaya. Say that particular thing is also causing the abnormality, compromised functions of the ojas that leads to the development of that we can call it as immunocompromised individuals. You know that I will not go into that the qualities and functions of ojas are similar to the sleshma. You know that, and it is also responsible for providing a biological strength to the various parts of the body, and it is also one of the major important factors responsible for the protection of the body against the diseases or the causative agents which make an entry into the body. And it is permeated to the entire body by the Dasha Mahamula Dhamanis. Then that will be helpful for the proper nourishment of those particular cells and tissues, as well as assist in the normal functions of that particular thing. Then about the, you know that there are two kinds of ojas which are mentioned in the classical text of Ayurveda, that is the para ojas and the apara ojas, where the para ojas, which is located in the eight heart and other 8 drops, but the apara ojas, which is situated in the all over the body and which corresponds to the half anjali. अब ये जो जनरली हम लोग कोई भी व्याधि की बात करते हैं तो जनरली हम लोग अपर ओज की बात करते हैं। जब अपर ओज जो है अर्धांगिनी रहती है और वो संपूर्ण शरीर में घूमते रहता है। जब हम लोग राजयक्ष्मा की बात करें, पांडु रोग की बात करें या ज्वर के बात, अन्य व्याधियों में हमको क्या कहते हैं कि ये जो पर्टिकुलर जो अपर ओज के जो प्रमेह की बात करें या मधुमेह की बात करें, वहां पर अपर ओज की कमी होती है। यदि पर ओज कम हो जाती है, अपर ओज का क्षय हो जाती है तो आदमी तुरंत मर जाता है। So this ojas is again said to be up to what types, as I discussed earlier by showing the pictures. That para ojas, as I told, it's lost. It's lost even because it is in 8 drops. Even it is, if it is lost in any form, that is going to cause the death of an individual. But that's not the case with the apara ojas. Prakruta and kapha ojas, most of the time it has also been mentioned that most of the time we do come across with the Charaka and the Sutratas references where they have built a Prakrutas to Balam Sleshma. So if the Prakruta kapha is said to be ojas, because the functions of both is appears to be one and the same, because both दोनों बल को प्रदान करते हैं, lubrication को करते हैं, virility को करते हैं, immunity को बढ़ाते हैं और resistance and stability को भी धातुओं में ले आता है। अब इसके बाद the शुक्र धातु का जो सुपर एसेंस जिसकी हम बात करते हैं, जो ओजस है, ये super essence of the Sukra Dhatu, and this particular Sukra Dhatu is the super essence of the all Dhatus, and the super essence of the particular super essence which is comes out, that is known as the ojas. Again, there will be two kinds of the ojas which have been told. One is Jiva Sonita ojas, another one is the Mara Rupi ojas. And this particular ojas here, this is responsible for the strength, vitality, and immunity in the body, which makes a person physically active and is more susceptible, more capable of resisting against the diseases, and will prevent the development of the diseases. So this particular the physical, mental, and spiritual strength of the हर आदमी का जो physical, mental, and spiritual strength भी ओजस के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट रहता है। एंड बिकॉज ये जो नॉर्मल अवस्था में रहती है, प्राकृत अवस्था में जब ओजस रहती है तो मेंटल एंड फिजिकल डिसीजेस को भी सेफगार्ड करने में मदद करता है। तो ओजस ऐसा चीज है, ये फर्स्ट बनती है और वो सभी ह्यूमन बीइंग्स, ठीक है। Origin of the ojas is established during the time of fertilization of the sperm and ovum. So it means that ojas is already exist in the sperm and ovum in the Sara spark. When the sperm and ovum combine with the soul garbha, that particular garbha is going to be formed. So this this particular here it shows the importance of the ojas in that. So in the stage of morula stage of the fetus में ojas is present in the form of the गर्भसार के रूप में रहता है. So when all body parts of the fetus formed, ojas manifested by its particular signs and symptoms. So in other और भाषा में बताना है तो ojas before pregnancy remains in the fur and the womb. So the 8th month of pregnancy में स्थिर गुणा ojas is not established completely. That's the reason we call it as 8th month में जब बच्चे पैदा होती है तो उसमें बच्चों को बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम्स होती है, बहुत सारे बीमारियों से ग्रसित होना पड़ता है. इसलिए ojas is unstable in the 8th month because of the exchange of ojas takes place through the blood vessels from mother to the fetal heart and from fetal to the mother heart. So when ojas is transmitted from garbha to the mother, so she looks happy and born fetus at this time will be prone to will be prone to develop certain infectious disorders. So due to which the delivery in this month is considered to be dangerous in the 8th month. So the definition of ojas, when it comes to the definition of the ojas, it is Shuddha and it is Raktamishat, it is the Pita Varnata, Shukla Varnata, and that kind of descriptions which are available in context to this, what is the color of this and how it can be understood, and it is remains seated in the heart. तो कभी किसी प्रकार का डिस्ट्रक्शन हो जाती है तो ओजस का स्पेशली पर ओजस का पर्टिकुलर पर्सन का कट हो जाता है, बट अपर ओजस का कमी होने से धीरे धीरे आदमी का कुछ फंक्शन सिस्टम का कम करने लग जाता. तो ये ओजस इज फर्स्ट प्रोड्यूस इन द बॉडी विच हैज ए सर्फी वर्ण, मधु का तरह लगता है, लाजगंधी स्मेल ऑफ द पाथराइज. So for example, Brahmara which collect the honey from the phala and pushpa, the same way ojas is the essence of the body, but its inherent karma and guna can be perceived. जैसा भ्रमर मधुमक्खी जो फूल से फल से कलेक्ट करके जो शहद बनाता है, तो इसी तरह का आपका वो जो इनहेरेंट कर्म होता है, क्वालिटी इनहेरेंट कर्म गुणा होती है, तो ओजस का भी ये सुपर एसेंस है. इनहेरेंट जिसके कर्म और गुण है उसको परस्यू करना है तो उस तरह का परस्यू करना चाहिए जैसा वहां जाके हनी बी जो है कलेक्ट करते हैं मधु को फ्रॉम द फ्रूट्स एंड वेल एज फ्रॉम द फ्लावर. इन द सेम में जो ओजस भी जो सुपर एसेंस धातु है, सुपर एसेंस शुक्र धातु का सार है, वो शरीर में उसके जो कर्म के आधार पर, उसके गुण के आधार पर हम लोग इसकी अस्तित्व को समझ सकते हैं. वो बेल संहिता में 12 साइड्स ऑफ ओजस बताया गया है. एक तो रस में भी ओजस रहती है, सोनित में भी, मांस में भी, मेद में भी, अस्थि में भी, मज्जा में भी, शुक्र में भी, स्वेद में भी, पित्त में, आंड श्लेष्मा, मूत्र एंड पुरुष. इन 12 स्थानों में भी ओज का अस्तित्व या ओज का स्थान बताया गया है. Kapha as mala of the dhatus, of course, when it comes to the Ashtanga Hridaya, Sharirasthana, Kapha Pittam Mala Sveso, Rasvedo Nakaromacha, Sneho Akshitvam, Adviva Shamo, Ojo, Dhatunam Pramas. So, this particular sloka says that the ojas is the mala of the dhatus, so that we can call it as, I usually say this as Dhatukat Mala Rupi Ojas. Dhatukata Mala Rupi Ojas. So this particular when there is a normal ojas which is going to be formed, so that is known as the Jiva Sonita ojas, which is there in the form of the Upadhatu of the Sukra dhatu. So that is the one which is Upadhatu of the Sukra is known as the Jiva Sonita ojas. The one which is the Mala of the Sukra dhatu, that's known as Mala Rupi ojas. So this particular the ojas which is attached to the Dasamulas shiras which are attached to the heart, and this carries the rasa and ojas to the whole body. This kind of activities hoti hai, depends on the two important factors. because they are big at the roots and very small at the tips and appear like the lines of leaf, and so divided they become the 700. So number they have been calculated how much number of Bullosiras of the veins which have been originated from the heart, and how this particular 700 branches from the heart to the different body structures, so that the body will get proper nourishment and the strength. The properties of Ojas were Susruta Samhita Sutra in the 15th chapter. It has been mentioned that it is the Somatmaka cool like moon, Snigdha, Shukla, Tira, Sara, Viviktam, Mrudu, and Vrishnam. So this particular entire जो सभी संपूर्ण शरीर में with all parts of living being is pervaded by it. So संपूर्ण each and every part of the cell, हर cells and tissues में ये जो है आपका ये जो cells and tissues में ओजस रहती है, और ये इसके यदि absence हो गया, कोई कमी हो गया, ओजस क्षय हो गया, so that will present with the certain signs of some signs and symptoms, and its complete absence or the deficiency leads to the death of the individual. So the qualities of the ojas which have been mentioned, that 10 qualities of the ojas which are similar to the milk and ghee, while totally opposite to the madhya and the visha. madhya और विष के opposite बताया गया है, milk और घी का बराबर बताया, इसलिए milk पीने से, घी खाने से तुरंत शुक्र बढ़ जाता है, मध्य पीने से और विष का पीने से ओजस जो है तुरंत घट जाता है. So that's the reason the person who is alcoholic addict or the alcoholic individuals, where their immune system is compromised because of that, because it is going to destruct the ojas. So the qualities are the Guru, Shita, Rudu, Stira, Prasanna, Pichila, and Snigdhata are the classical qualities of this particular ojas. So it's again, when it comes to the understanding, it's very, very difficult to comprehend the exact nature of the ojas. According to Charaka, the color of ojas is predominantly white, slightly reddish or yellow, resembling to the sarpi varna. Like, so it is sweet in taste like madhu and has the smell of the raja. So the functions of ojas is very, very useful to maintain the conditions of the good health. It not only nourishes all the body constituents, but also nourishes the mind. It controls and regulates all the physiological activities and immunity power of the individual. So in Ayurveda, it is believed that life cannot exist without the ojas in the body. So when it comes to the functions of ojas, balena, stira, upachita, mamsata, sarvachesta, swa pratigata, and Saravarna Prasado Karana Nama Atma Karya Pratipati. So this particular ojas, if it is there in the normalcy, it provides बल, शरीर को बल देता है, स्थिरत्व लाता है मसल्स में और उसमें स्टेबिलिटी लाता है, मसल ग्रोथ को भी स्ट्रक्चर को बढ़ाने के लिए मदद करता है. सर्वचेष्टा स्वप्रतिघाता, एबिलिटी टू परफॉर्म ऑल एक्टिविटीज विदाउट एनी हिंड्रेंस के बिना सभी काम को अच्छे से कर लेगा. स्वरवर्ण, क्लैरिटी ऑफ द वॉइस रहेगा, ब्राइटनेस ऑफ द कलर रहेगा, एंड इसके साथ साथ में एबिलिटी ऑफ द एक्सटर्नल एंड इंटरनल सेंस ऑर्गन्स टू परफॉर्म देयर नॉर्मल फंक्शन. So that's what I told when it comes to the Samadosha, Samajnesa, Samadhatu, Malakriya. So there also, these are all the findings which are necessary for the normal formation of the ojas. So what are the etiological factors by which this particular ojas is going to become deviated or the become kshaya? Abhigata, kshayat, kopo, choka, dhyana, brahma, kshudhi, oja sankshayate hebo, dhatu grana nisrutam, tejaha samiritam, tasmat vistram sayati dehina. So due to injury, wasting, agitation, and worry, and fatigue, and hunger, so ojas will become depleted. ओजस कम हो जाती है इस कारण से. तो पित्ता एक्साइटेड बाय वाता फर्दर डिस्प्लेसेस द ओजस फ्रॉम द हार्ट. ये सब निदान सेवन करने से, चाहे अभिघात हो गया हो, चाहे धातु क्षय हो गया हो, चाहे जोश में धातु में एजिटेशन हो गया हो, मन में ज़्यादा वरी कर रहा है, एंजाइटी में है, फटीग से है, ये सब चीज़ों से जो ओजस जो नॉर्मल अवस्था से कम हो जाती हैं या abnormal हो जाती हैं, तो पित्ता along with the ojas get excited by vata, but that displaces the ojas from the heart. तो ओजस को अपने स्थान से हट के बाहर फेंकता है. What are the pathological states of the ojas? Generally we call it as ओजो दुष्टि की बात करते हैं, but शास्त्र में लिखा है ओजो त्रयो दोषाः. तस्य विश्रम से व्यापत क्षय इति त्रयो दोषाः. ओजो विश्रम, ओजो व्यापत and ओजो क्षय. ओजो विश्रम the displacement of ojas, ओजो व्यापत derangement in quality of ojas, ओजो क्षय diminution in the quantity of the ojas. So Bojo Visrams are the displacement of ojas, which has been clearly mentioned with clinical presentation. That is the Sandhi Vishlesho, that's looseness of the joints, Gatranam Sadanam, that is the weakness of the body parts, and Dosha Chavanam, provoke the doshas move away from their normal functions. Kriya Sannirodhasya, inability to perform the normal functions. Kriya Sannirodha Shabd use किया है. श्रम लेथर्जी इन द ऑर्गन जितना काम करना चाहिए उस पर्टिकुलर ऑर्गन उस पर काम नहीं करेगा. अब अप्राचुर्यम क्रियाणाम, इट आल्सो मीन्स इम्पोर्टेंट ऑफ द कायिक वाचिक एंड द मानसिक फंक्शंस ऑफ द बॉडी. Ojo Vapat are the derangement in the quality of the ojas, that is Sabda Guru Gatrata, stiffness and feeling of heaviness of the body, Vata Shoka, swelling caused by Vata dos impairment, Varna Beda, change in the complexion, Lani, exhaustion, Tandra, and Nidra. This all of the things which indicates towards the autoimmune component of the individual. So what are the causes which are responsible for the Ojakshaya, Vayamo, Anasanam, Chinta, Ruksha, Alpa, Pramitashanam, Vatatapo, Bayam, Shoko, Rukshapanam, Prajagraha, Kapashonita Sukranam, Maranam, Chapravartanam, Ativartanam, Kalo, Bhutupagatascha, Nyato Vihaksha, Hetuha. यहाँ क्या कह रहा है कि अति व्यायाम करने से, खाना नहीं खाने से, चिंता करने से, रुक्ष भोजन करने से, अल्प भोजन करने से, कम मात्रा में खाने से, वात और आतप को एक्सपोज होने से, भय युक्त होने से, शोक से, रुक्ष पान करने से, रुक्ष पान और आहार का करने से, रात्रि जागरण करने से, कफा शोणित सुप्राणाम. This particular things along with that कफा शोणित शुक्राणाम मलानाम चतुर्प्रवर्तन, कफा शोणित और शुक्र का ज्यादा मात्रा में प्रवर्तन हो जाना और कालो भूतोपघातस्य ज्ञातव्य क्षय. These are all सभी जैसा ओल्ड एज होती है आदमी का तो उसमें हम लोग बोलते हैं इम्यूनोसेनेसेंस होती है. तो भूतोपघातस्य मतलब शरीर में किसी प्रकार का बैक्टीरियल इन्फेक्शन सिंथेटिक इन्फेक्शन होती है तो उन कारण से भी शरीर में ओज का कम हो जाता है. So what are the factors responsible for the reduction of the ojas, which I already discussed in detail about this. So what about the ओजोक्षया? What are the lakshanas which are present? कोई भी ओजोक्षय का लक्षण क्या क्या हो सकती है? तो सुश्रुत ने तो सिर्फ बताया कि मूर्छा होगी, मांसक्षय होगा, मांसक्षय का लक्षण मिलेगा, मोह होगा, प्रलाप होगा, मरण. इसके साथ ही चरक में अब थोड़ा सा डिटेल्ड वर्जन है. विभेति दुर्बलो अभिक्षम, मतलब यदि आपका जो ओजस कम होने से कॉन्स्टेंटली पर्सन विल सफर फ्रॉम द फियर कॉम्प्लेक्स. दुर्बलो अभिक्षणम, फिजिकल एंड मेंटल डेबिलिटी रहती है और वरीज ऑलवेज विदाउट एनी अप्रेंटिस, किसी प्रकार का वो नहीं है, फिर भी सोचते रहता है, चिंता करते रहता है. व्यतीत इंद्रिया feels discomfort in the sense organs and duschaya developed impaired or loss of complexion of the body. Durmana, that is bad mentation of the feeble mental stamina. Person cannot able to concentrate in particular object due to lack of enthusiasm to involve in that particular activity. Rukshata will be there, there will be dryness or roughness, and samashin becomes weak. Importance of the ojas and measure for the prevention and promotion. Tanmata to Mahamula, Mahamulasta to Ujaha Paririkshitaha. परिहार्या विशेषेण मनसो दुःखयत्वा हृदयं यत् स्याद् ओजस्य स्रोतसां यत् साधनम तत्तस्य विमान प्रवृत्ति ने प्रशमुता। इसका मतलब ये हो गया, तो जो जितना मन को दुखी करने वाला जितना निदान बताया गया था इससे पहले, तो उसको अवॉइड करना चाहिए। एंड इसके लिए साथ साथ जो ऐसा आहार और विहार का ऐसा प्लान करना चाहिए, दवाई भी ऐसा देना चाहिए, वो हार्ट के लिए, ओजस के लिए और स्रोतस के लिए एक अनुकूल परिस्थिति उत्पन्न करने वाला होना चाहिए। वैदिक क्षमत्व का जो दूसरे जो डेफिनेशन हम कर सकते हैं कि बल है और स्ट्रेंथ है, और इसलिए बोलते हैं तत्र बलेन स्थिरोपचिता मांसता सर्वचेष्टा स्वप्रतिघातः सर्ववर्ण प्रसादो बाह्यानाम अभ्यंतराणाम करणानाम आत्मकार्य प्रतिपत्तिर्भवेत्। So Bala, the vitality principle imparts the firm integrity to the muscles, improves the voice and complexion, and fortifies the motor, sensory and intellect to perform their normal functions. Because ये बहुत जरूरी है, because बल के ऊपर ही बल is dependent on the normal status of the vessels. Because ये जब नॉर्मल रहती है, वो जिस नॉर्मल रहता है तो बल को प्रदान करता है, वो तभी मसल्स में इंटीग्रिटी को लाता है, वॉइस को इम्प्रूव करता है, कॉम्प्लेक्शन को इम्प्रूव करता है, and it fortifies the motor, sensory and intellectual functions to perform their natural functions. इसके साथ में the word which has been told, I told वैदिक क्षमत्व नाम वैदित्पादक प्रतिबंधकत्व वैदिबल विरोधित्वात् वैदित्पादक प्रति, ये दो ही लाइन हमेशा हर व्यक्ति जब पढ़ाता है वैदिक क्षमत्व कितना बोल देते हैं। That is resistant to disease or immunity against disease is two kinds. One is one that attenuates the manifested disease. That is Vadutpadaka Pratibandhakatvam, attenuates the manifested. Vadibala other which prevents the manifestation of the disease. What are these front factors which are responsible for this particular this thing? So for that, there have been three important factors which have been told in the classical text of Ayurveda. Na hi sarvarna pattani tulya doshani, na cha sarva doshaha tulya balaha, na hi sarvani sarirani vaidik samatvi samatani bhavan. ये तीन चीजें बताएं। क्या है? सबसे पहले ये था जो न ही सर्वर्ण पत्तानि तुल्य दोषानि, जो सभी अपत्य आहार, all unwholesome food substances become more harmful depending on the five factors. So सभी जो अपत्य जो है सभी समान प्रकार का बलवान नहीं होता। उदाहरण तौर पे हम बात किए जाए, मान लो कोई विटामिन हेपेटाइटिस ए और ई कंटामिनेटेड फूड सेवन कर लिया, तो 12 लोग गए थे, तो 12 लोगों में 12 लोगों को ये बीमारी नहीं हुआ। आउट ऑफ 12 मे बी 5 or 6 are suffering from the hepatitis A infection and the remaining will not. So because again it all depends on the nature of the locality, time factor, combination, potency and excessive quantity of the intake. So this all depends on particular type of food which has been contaminated with hepatitis B has been consumed by some individuals in more quantity, and that might be responsible for the development of hepatitis A in those individuals. Or there may be the person who is already suffering from good number of diseases. Take for example, the HIV infection है, typhoid infection है, diabetes mellitus है, तो जिन व्यक्तियों में ऑलरेडी कैंसर है, इन व्यक्तियों में ऑलरेडी जो आपका इम्यून सिस्टम डाउन रहता है, तो वो पर्टिकुलर इंडिविजुअल्स में इट बिकम्स they are not capable of resisting against the diseases. So any unwholesome food substances is not equally powerful in causing the diseases. So what that all depends on the nature of the locality, कहाँ कौन सा देश का है, कहाँ का आपने सेवन किया, वो कौन सा फूड था, टाइम फैक्टर है, कॉम्बिनेशन है, कैसे किसके साथ खाया है, क्या कॉम्बिनेशन था, संयोग था, पोटेंसी कैसे, वीर्य कितना है, उसको बोलते हैं आज के डेट में हम लोग वायरुलेंस फैक्टर्स माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म की बात करते हैं, एंड द एक्सेस क्वांटिटी ज़्यादा मात्रा में यदि सेवन कर लिया तो दिस पर्टिकुलर पॉजिटिव एजेंट्स मेक एन एंट्री इन द सिस्टम. सो then these are all the 5 factors. Na hi sarvarna patani tulya doshani. Number 2, Number 2 is na cha sarva dosaha tulyabalaha. That is, any unwholesome food substance is not equally powerful in causing the disease. उदाहरण पे इसी पे कंटिन्यूएशन में जो 5 चीजें मैंने बता रहा था कि देश है, काल है, संयोग है, वीर है और क्वांटिटी पे है। उसमें एक उदाहरण जो चक्रपाणी कमेंट्री का मैंने एक उदाहरण लिया था। एक उस समय के ज्यादा मात्रा में लोग ही धान्य खाते टाइप ऑफ कॉर्न है। ये जनरली ये पित्त को प्रकोपित करने वाला है। It become more the same cheese, the same becomes more unwholesome if consumed by the Marcellin people, and the same is less harmful if it is consumed by the desert land people. So because आपको ऑलरेडी जो पित्त प्रोवोकेटिव वाला ये है, आप उस पर्टिकुलर देश में जैसे आंध्र प्रदेश की बात करोगे, आंध्र प्रदेश में ऑलरेडी कफ का इन्फ्लुएंस है, फिर आप कफ प्रकोपित वाला आहार विहार का सेवन करेंगे तो उस पर्टिकुलर कंडीशन में जब आहार विहार का सेवन करेंगे तो उस कारण से भी शरीर के अंतर्गत बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम्स को क्रिएट करता है। तो कारण यदि आप उसी को जो ऑलरेडी ये पित्त प्रकोपित वाला है, यदि शरद ऋतु में सेवन करेंगे तो शरद ऋतु में ऑलरेडी पित्त की प्रकोपित अवस्था है, तो आप उस समय आप जैसा अल्कोहल ले लीजिए, चाहे आपका कुल्फी का ले लीजिए, चाहे ज्यादा स्पाइसी वाला फूड सब्सटेंसेस ले लीजिए, इस सीजन में जैसे शरद ऋतु में जल्दी हार्मफुल हो जाता है। और वही चीज हेमंत ऋतु में ज्यादा मात्रा में करेंगे तो वहाँ लेस हार्मफुल हो जाता है। तो जब फार्निक और पेनिडियम और शुगर केन जूस यदि शुगर कर्ड के साथ ले लेंगे तो ये बहुत ज्यादा अनहोलसम होगा, एंड इसके हनी के साथ ले लेंगे तो वो कम अनहोलसम होगा। इसके साथ साथ में व्हेन कंज्यूम्ड यदि गर्म रहते हुए इसको सेवन करोगे तो ज्यादा अनहोलसम होगा, यदि कोल्ड उसको लेस ठंडा करके ले लेंगे तो कम हार्मफुल होगा। सो इफ इट इज कंज्यूम्ड मोर इन क्वांटिटी, ज्यादा मात्रा में इसको सेवन करेंगे तो वो ज्यादा मात्रा में सेवन करने से ज्यादा पित्त को प्रकोपित करेगा, तो इसलिए ज्यादा हार्मफुल होगा। कम मात्रा में लेंगे तो ये लेस हार्मफुल होगा। So this is number 1. So that is nahi sarvanapatani tulya dosha. Not all unwholesome food substances are not equally powerful causing the disease. Number 2, doshas of all types are not equally strong in producing the disease. Na cha tulya dosha, nahi sarvanam tulya bala, na cha sarva dosha tulya bala. Not all doshas are not equally strong in producing the disease. So in that imbalance, doshas are exceeding this particular what and all it depends on that. So there is an imbalance. Doshas are exceedingly painful, acute. They may cause the acute conditions also, are difficult to cure in multiple combination. Multiple combination में रहेगा, 2 दोष का रहेगा, 3 दोष का रहेगा, 4 रहेगा। जितना दोष और धातु की संख्या बढ़ते जाती है तो वो दोष से ज्यादा पावरफुल होता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल आप चिकित्सा भी करोगे तो दोष को सही करने जाओगे तो धातु पड़ेगा, धातु सही करोगे तो दोष पड़ेगा, तो म्यूचुअल कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी थेरेपी रहेगा, तब भी ये that becomes very difficult. These are deep situated, involving deeper dhatus like vajja in the pathogenesis of the disease. If the disease is chronic, it becomes very difficult to cure because the doshas are deep seated and produce the displeasure in the mind of the person. So जब बना रहता है कि दोषों को निवारण नहीं किया है, दोषों का अक्युमुलेशन हो रहा है, दोषों को निवारण नहीं किया है तो बना रहता है, तो ग्रेजुअली धीरे धीरे जैसे क्रॉनिक इन्फ्लेमेटरी प्रोसेस होते रहते हैं शरीर में, वो धीरे धीरे वो पर्टिकुलर ऑर्गन को, पर्टिकुलर सेल्स को, पर्टिकुलर टिश्यू को डैमेज करते रहता है। तो मे बी दैट में डेवलप इन द फॉर्म ऑफ, हम लोग आयुर्वेद की भाषा में बात करेंगे तो धीरे धीरे उसमें चाहे फाइब्रोसिस टाइप का हो तो श्रुतरोध उत्पन्न करेगा, तो दैट विल लीड्स टू द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द डिसीज इन द लेटर पार्ट। इफ द डिसीज इज सिचुएटेड इन द दश प्राणायतनास, इसमें शंख में, मर्मत्रय में, कंठ, रक्तम, शुक्र और ओजस and Guda Pradesh. If this particular organs are involved, then that particular disease becomes very, very difficult for the cure. If vital organs are get afflicted, then it becomes very, very difficult to cure. And then vital organs like brain, heart, and the bladder, kidneys. So if the disease manifests instantaneously, it indicates that this is very, very difficult to cure. So यदि all of a sudden व्याधि उत्पन्न हो जाती है तो वो that becomes very, very difficult for the cure. So variations in the physics. The last point is na hi sarvani sharirani vedic samarthe samarthani bhavanti. सभी व्यक्ति variations in the physics will play a role in the resistance. People vary from one in many ways. So कौन है जो व्याधिक क्षमता का व्याधि से लड़ने का कंप्रोमाइज शक्ति रहते हैं, जो वो वेज है, ओवरवेट इंडिविजुअल उनका जो रोग से लड़ने का शक्ति कंप्रोमाइज रहता है। जो आदमी वीक है वो अंडर न्यूट्रिशन वाला एक्सेसफुली एमासिएटेड पर्सन है, अंडर न्यूट्रिशन वाला पर्सन है, वो भी वैदिक क्षमता से लड़ने का उनके पास ताकत नहीं रहता है। जिसका रक्त और मांस धातु का कम हो गया हो वो भी वैदिक क्षमता से रजिस्ट करने में समर्थ नहीं होता है। जिसने डेबिलिटेड हो गया, बहुत सभी धातुओं में शिथिलता आ गई है, और वन हू कंज्यूम अनहोलसम फूड, जो हमेशा लाइफ में अनहोलसम फूड का ही सेवन करता हो, जो आदमी कम में भोजन करता हो, और जिसके जो सत्व है, मन का जो फंक्शन है बहुत ही निकृष्ट है, अवर है, तो इन व्यक्तियों में जो नॉर्मल व्यक्तियों में जो रोग से लड़ने का जो शक्ति थी, वो चीज इन व्यक्तियों में नहीं रहती, बिकॉज ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर कॉजेटिव फैक्टर। इसलिए individuals are having the opposite types of physical constitutions are shown to be capable of resisting against the diseases. नेक्स्ट कम बात आती है कि कौन सी ये सब प्रोडक्ट है, कौन सी ये सब चीज है तो इम्यूनिटी को बढ़ाने में मदद करता है। फूड वर्सेस इम्यूनिटी है। Wholesome food is the only sole cause for the growth of a living being. There are three factors that support life, that is ahara, swapna, and brahmacharya, and they're full of the spiritual bliss. So consumption of proper amount of the food certainly helps in individual in bringing strength, good complexion, and happiness and the longevity. So आहार का इसलिए आहार मात्रा पुनर्अग्नि बलापेक्ष, तो आहार के मात्रा जो है अग्नि के बल के आधार पर लेने चाहिए। जो अग्नि के फंक्शन के आधार पर आप भोजन ले लिया, so it is very helpful in induced good sleep. It is also helpful in the normal overall growth of an individual. And it will also, normal food will also help in the wear and tear mechanism, which is continuous mechanical wear and tear, which is continuously taking pain either in the joints, either in the skin, or in any part of the body. So if they were consuming the very good food, which is having the Sattva Yukta in normal proportion, so that is going to cause the excellent health. So food versus mood. There are recent studies which indicate that your mood, your personality, and your behavior, these are all depends on the food. So because over the years, the growing research has provided a clue that most of the time it has been accepted that certain food will affect our mood. The healthy diet is also very, very important because it promotes a gut and which communicates with the brain through what is known as the gut-brain axis. So microbes in the gut produces the neurotransmitters like the serotonin, dopamine, which regulate our mood and emotions, and the gut microbiome has been implicated in the mental health outcome. So it's not only for the Sharirika doshas, but for Manasika doshas also, the food plays a very, very important role. So how the doshas are responsible for the immunity? So as I mentioned earlier when I was discussing with the Ojas, Prakriti Balam Sleshma, so the Ojas is a normal quantity, Ojas is there in the normal avastha. So this particular dosha balance, the dosha homeostasis is responsible for the homeostasis of the dhatus. It also brings the homeostasis in all body parts, because these dosas are necessary to execute the functions of each and every part of the cell. So without the involvement of the doshas, so there won't be any normal functioning of the body. So that is why this particular normalcy, this Vata, Pitta and Kapha, the Sharirika doshas, and Raja and Trama are the Manasika, are the mental doshas. So thus the normalcy of the doshas is very, very important for the good immune system. Dhatus, how dhatus will play an important role in the immunity? Of course, nourishment is the intrinsic to life and an important tool in the fight of for survival against the pathogenic microorganisms. So whenever there will be particular portions of the tissues is impaired and immune disturbance occurs and develops the disease like Dhatu Pradeshya Vikaras. So given normally in the Dhatu Pradeshya Vikaras, if the dotas may be normal conditions, but if they come in contact with the dosha and dushas, that will lead to the development of the disease. Then about the Agni versus immunity, as I told earlier, normalcy, Samagni is very, very important because the normal, if the Agni performs its normal functions, it is responsible for the strength, it is responsible for the health, it is responsible for the longevity, it is responsible for the vital breath. So that's the reason it has been told Shante Ragnamrita. If Agni becomes Shanta, the particular person is going to die out of it. So that's why the normal homeostasis maintained should be there by the proper wise intake of the food and the drinks, because this drug and the diet will act as a fuel to the human being. So to come across this, there are certain references available in the recent studies which indicates that mind, body, medicine, and immune system outcomes is systematic review. So this particular researchers which they compiled about the how this particular the review the mind body interventions that used to that use the immune outcomes in order. So this particular mind is characterized body medicine studies that assess immune outcomes, evaluate the quality of mind body medicine studies measuring the immune effects, and statistically evaluate the evidence for mind body interventions that will affect on immune system and its outcome. So there are mind body medicines and how this will influence in the normal functions of the human system. It has been well highlighted. So the mind body medicine focuses on the relationship between the brain, mind, the body, and behavior, and their effect on the health and the disease. So the key promise of our mind body medicine is that a person's mental state influences their physical health. Evidence exists supporting the brain and the nervous system, influence on the immune function, and thus potentially on immune outcomes. So there are references which have come across recently with salivary IgA. Only the IgA, salivary IgA showed strong evidence for being affected by mind-body medicine. So this measure may not be ideal for every intervention or the patient group, but has shown strong evidence of effects resulting from the mind-body intervention. So salivary IgA had a positive evidence होती है because serum IgA did not possibly reflect in the faster rate of change as of salivary IgA and the less stressful collection in the method. So salivary IgA may be more reliable for the mind, body, and interventional studies. So overall, the relaxation training demonstrated the strongest evidence for the mind-body interventions, how it influences the total overall outcome of the immune system. Incorporating some type of relaxation training into mind-body medicine therapies may help improve health outcomes through the immune system mediation. So another branch which is nowadays coming up with is the psychoneuroimmunology. It is also referred to as psychoendoneuroimmunology or also known as psychoneuroendocrinoimmunology. So that indicates that there is a systemic coordination with that of the psychic, neural, endo, and immunological. So these four systems must work in tandem so that there is a proper interaction between the psychological process
are also refers further.
and the nervous and the immune systems of the human body. That's why there will be a proper interactions between the psychological process and the nervous and the immune systems of the human body is necessary when only the body performs its normal functions and maintain the normal immune functions. So another one is mind body medicine, relationship between the brain, mind, body, and the behavior and the effect on the health and disease. This also one of the studies which is published. This indicates that how the mind body medicine is influencing the person's mental status, influences the physical health. And the psychoneuroimmunology, the central nervous system might regulate the immune functions, and also that the immune system might communicate with the central nervous system, seem quite logical and to have a clear adaptive value. तो this psychoneuroimmunology में होता क्या है बेसिकली, ये जो सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम का हाइपोथैलेमिक इंटरवेंशंस होती है and it will alter the immunological reactivity को, the elicitation of an immune response alters the CNS axis. Second, there is a sympathetic innervation of the spleen and other lymphoid organs, including the skin. The third one is changes in the hormone and the neurotransmitters produce the changes in the immune functions and the vice versa. So finally, the lymphoid cells express receptors for a variety of hormones and transmitters. Thus, lymphoid cells are exposed to neurochemical ligands and express the receptors necessary to bind them. So this is how this particular stress will make an impact on the cellular immunity, humoral immunity, and how it is responsible for the B cell and the enhancement of the interleukin and the macrophages, and how it is responsible for the development of the various kinds of the immunological disorders. The another one is immunonutrition. The upper immunonutrition is also one of the important concept which is coming up nowadays. So this the immune nutrition is one of the very important, very useful branch, which indicates towards that the pandemic mutual coordination between the immune system to that of the endocrine system, with that of the nervous system, with that of the nutrition, because these are all the immune system, endocrine, nutrition, and nervous system. All these four together will work in tandem. Then only the person will be free from the diseases. That's the reason we talk about the immune system. We talk about the healthy diet. We talk about the healthy lifestyle. Microbiota nowadays it is coming up with the immunonutrition applications. It's also nowadays coming up that evaluation of the nutritional status through the immunological biomarkers in presumably healthy people with the risk of malnutrition, especially in children, adolescents, and the adults, pregnant men, elderly athletes. So the different immunological and stress biomarkers can be studied in serum and plasma samples of the subjects in the different stages of the life in order to detect the risk of potential malnutrition states, both by defect and the excess. So evolving the adaptive immunity, you know that it's going to take its own time. It is going to evolve over a period of time in the vertebrates, and this you know that I will not, because of the next speaker is on the line. I think I will try to finish my lecture within 5 to 10 minutes. So evolution of the immunity, you know that it happens at many time scales, from the deep time evolution of whole system to the evolution of the variants of pathogens and individuals over the lifetime of a host species, to the changes in the frequency of lymphocyte clones within an individual during the infection. It was long thought that adaptive immunity was a property of jawed vertebrates alone. So it has been a major revolution to find that some invertebrates have their own adaptive immune systems based on molecules rather than antibodies, T cell receptors, and the T cell receptor TCRs and major histocompatible complex molecules. Many host evolution of the immunity again which indicates towards that many host genes contribute to resistance and the susceptibility, and the virus evolves in response to that. Involved antigen presentations. I think somebody is doing mischievous by doing things. Rajan sir, look into it. Who is doing this mischievous behavior? Original evolution of the specialized forms of proteozymes involved in antigen presentations. This particular in immune system, proteosomes play a critical role in the production of antigen peptides bound by major histocompatibility complex class 1 molecules. Next, about the how this particular evolutionary process which is taking place from filter feeding lifestyle to the closed circulatory system, how this selection pressure for advanced immunity and fixed germline receptors and the closed circulatory system, the lymphocyte like cells. So these are all how this particular mechanism which is taking place inside the body, and how this complex microbiome is responsible for the overall immune function. So that particular the filter feeding lifestyle that is ancestral in deuterosomes created selection pressure for immunity with improved targeting. Closed circulation allowed for the evolution of the lymphocytes like cells that perform the body by the immune surveillance. This I will not go into it. Just you know that. So the nascent rudimentary form of a dominant tolerance might have provided the immediate benefit by mitigating the limited autoimmune damage from shotgun immunity and possibly by allowing specific tolerance in the symbiotic microbes. So how this particular Bala or the Vedic Samatva can be retained by this can be attained by the Ashtanga yoga and meditation. So regular practice of exercises, yoga and indulgence in auspicious activities, strictly adherence to the principles of Dinacharya, Ruticharya, Sadruta and Acharasana, healthy practices related to diet, conduct and the activities. So some of my papers are published, critical appraisal of immunity in Ayurveda. You just go through it to get more knowledge about immunity. Concept of immunity is published in Ayurveda in one of the Scopus Index journal. I can go through there also. Thank you one and all.